We'll start by just going back through and reviewing the game after we had a chance to watch it. It's obviously great to get a victory. It was not a pretty victory by any means. It was pretty ugly when you watch the film, but victory is a victory. And it is just like the week before, it's a lot better to get a victory when you don't play well than it is to play very well and lose. So we'll take it anytime. I think a game like that, though, is a true sign of the character and chemistry and just belief and buy-in that we have from our players. We would not have won that game a year ago. There's no doubt in my mind. It wouldn't even come close to winning a game like that with the stats the way that they were a year ago. Reasons for the win. There are a few that really stuck out. It starts with our plan to win that we talk about all the time with our guys. I thought we played good on defense. We didn't play great. We played good going into the game. Purdue had a pretty good passing attack. Our focus was to try to limit those yards. I thought we did a good job of that, but we gave up too many rushing yards. They got us on some things that we had not seen before, and they got a lot of offense to defend. They do a good job, and we did not tackle well and fit some plays well, and that contributed to the rush yards that we gave up. But I did think we played some outstanding situational football. Between third and fourth down, they were 4 out of 19, and anytime you can have that, you're going to give yourself a chance to win. They got down in the red zone, only allowed 1 touchdown in the red zone there at the very end of the game. Holding them to field goals earlier in the game obviously was a huge factor in the game. We won the turnover takeaway battle. If we would have turned the ball over in that game, we would not have won the game. We had 0 turnovers first time this year, and we're able to get 2 huge interceptions, the one by K.J. Gray at the end of the first half, and Damon Hayes made an outstanding play in the second half that gave us the 2 takeaways. Our special teams was huge in the game Saturday. The battle of the field position was won because of our coverage units. Our ability to go down and get 3 pin-ems inside the 20 on the kickoff team was outstanding. The 4 punts that were down inside the 20-yard line played a big factor in our ability to win that game. And then offensively, the stats aren't what any of us would like, but at the end of the day, our job on offense is to score more points than the opponent, and we did that. And as long as we were able to do that, then that was a success. A lot of things we've got to clean up and get better at, but those are the things that really gave us an opportunity to win the game. Players of the game, offensively, Gus Edwards had a good game. Obviously, the big run early. Defensively, K.J. Gray, I think, had 11 tackles. He had PBU or 2, and then he had the big interception. And on special teams, DeCoven Bailey was our special teams player of the game. Made some tremendous tackles on both the kickoff coverage unit and on the punt team. So he was our special teams player of the game. Just looking ahead to our next game, Michigan, going to be a huge challenge. It's a very good football team that we got to get ready to play on the road. Well coached. They've got tremendous players on both sides of the ball, and going to need to have our best effort as we go and try to prepare for their game this Saturday. So with that, I'll go ahead and open up for questions.
Chris, just because we haven't gotten to ask you this yet, Friday the Yankee Stadium game was moved back here. What was your reaction to that? Are there any positives or negatives for your team?
Yeah, I haven't had a lot of time to think about it. I was told about it on Friday. Obviously, we're in the middle of game preparation still for Purdue, so I hadn't thought about it a whole lot. Decision that the Yankees and our administration agreed upon. That was, at the time, the best decision to make from their standpoint. So, I'm really indifferent. Disappointed. Was looking forward to playing the game, Yankee Stadium, for some of our players and their family, but happy that we got another home game back here. For not only our players, we're going to go look at 4 games away from our stadium, which was going to be tough. But it's good for the community here to be back home. But so I'm indifferent. My thoughts have been just again on a Purdue game and turn a page to the Michigan game. So thought about it just for a few minutes, the pros and cons, and that's about it.
Chris, we've asked you, coming off losses, what's the mood of the team? What's the mood of the team coming off 2 straight wins? Is it focused?
Yeah, I mean they're excited. They're all the things that you would hope the football team would be. They're excited. They're eager to continue to go out and work and keep getting better. I would like to think that we're focused. The last few weeks of preparation that we've had has been pretty focused preparation. And I think overall it's a pretty positive mood. I would say, honestly, even after losses, you know, on Sundays you come in after a loss, you don't feel really good about yourself. And that's to be expected when you invest a lot. But overall, our attitude has been extremely positive, you know, from our players every week. And they know we're getting better, and that's why. Anytime you can see improvement, even though you may not get the W, you see improvement, you feel improvement. They've been hungry and eager to come back and keep getting better.
We asked you after the game about Janarian. Any update? Do you expect
No
him to play?
updates. Yeah, he's don't expect any issues with him.
And then in terms of Blackshear, obviously, it seems like he's having a lot of success in like certain packages or certain play calls. Are you guys doing that with your other true freshman receivers and linebackers? Do you need to do more out of that from those spots?
No, we don't need. No, Blackshear's a very talented individual, and our job is to try to get, you know, the players that have the skill set to make plays on Saturday involved, and he's one that definitely has a special skill set. I think you guys see that when he does get the ball in his hands, he's different. So we have made an effort to try to find ways to get the ball in his hands. And you know, the good thing and the bad thing is, you know, we have a crowded backfield, so we got to be a little more creative with doing that, because every time you get the ball to Blackshear, Gus Edwards, or Rob Martin's not getting it, you know. That's a good problem to have, but Raheem has, again, earned the right to get more touches and have an opportunity to affect the outcome of a game on Saturday. So we have to continue to make that happen.
When you're recruiting players for special teams, what kind of factors are you looking for? Because new guys like Anderson, Taylor, Davidovich have all had an impact at improving the unit.
Yeah, I mean, those are specialists, you know, that you got to have really outstanding specialists. You know, you got to have a great snapper. You got to have a holder. Michael Cintron does a great job with the holds. You know, the Hart and Anderson have done a great job as new guys coming in. And, you know, there's a lot of things that go into it. One, do they have the ability? And two, do they have the mental toughness and discipline to go out and perform in front of a crowd on television? A lot of that you don't know, you know, until you actually get a chance to see them do it. We didn't start off great, you know, at those positions. But, again, like we've mentioned, you know, Hart and Anderson have just continued to gain confidence as the season's gone on, and they've had opportunities to get out on the field. And I think both of them, and then Billy Taylor, too, as a freshman. We were really nervous about Billy Taylor going out there as a freshman. Haven't had one issues with snaps. You know, might not all have been perfect, but he's been pretty darn good. He actually had a tackle on the punt coverage the other day, too. And anytime you can get a snapper that can snap and run down the field and actually make a tackle, it's pretty good skill set to have. So that's where it all starts. Do they have the talent to do what we need them to do, and then do they have the mental makeup to be able to perform out on game day for those limited opportunities?
Chris, from what you've seen coaching at Wisconsin, Ohio State, how tough is the atmosphere at Michigan compared to the rest of the league?
I just think there's a lot of tough environments in this league. You know, there's a lot of them. So this is just another one of them. I think it's a unique league from that standpoint. You know, been in the Big 12, SEC, and in the Big 10, and I think the Big 10 venues are as good as it gets.
In the second half, Zach Eamon went in there for Kamal Seymour. What went into that change, and what's the status of that position moving forward?
Just Kamal had a little injury.
Is he all right for this week?
Yeah, no, we're not going to talk about the injuries, but he had an injury that came up in the game.
Chris, is this game more important based on what happened last year, margin-wise, to show
No,
you've
we're
made
not
progress
talking about
against them?
last year. No, that's not even in our thoughts or our conversations. Our focus is on our football team right now. You know, we're not the same team as last year. They're not the same team as last year. I'm worried about this game, this team, and their offense, their defense, their special teams, and our matchups this year. You know, last year is what it is, and it was not a good game, and it happened. Can't change it. Not going to talk about it.
87 passing yards last week and 89 this past game, or vice versa, actually. Can you win games consistently throwing for 88 yards
At
per
the
game?
end of the day, the offensive job, like I mentioned, is to put points on the board. There's going to be some games you can run the ball or have to run the ball. There's going to be certain games you're going to have to pass the ball. There's no magic formula that says, well, you got to rush for this number of yards or pass for this number of yards to win games. At the end of the day, the offense has to put points on the board, and how they do that doesn't really matter. Would every coach like to say they have balance? Yeah, that'd be cool to say you had that, but is that necessary? No, you got to do what your offensive strengths are and what the defense allows you to do, or what they take away or what they give you. So that's all that really matters. Do we have to score more points? Yeah, that's what we need to do. How we do that, it's based on our personnel and the matchup of who we're playing at the end of the day. To say we've got to pass for a certain number of yards, no, we don't have to do that. To say we have to rush for a certain number of yards, no, we don't have to do that. We've got to do what our team and our players allow us to do.
That being said, are you satisfied with Gio's performance?
I'm not satisfied with the it's not just Gio. I'm not satisfied with the overall offensive production. Again, where we're at right now, like I just mentioned, we outscored our opponent the last 2 weeks. Job well done. That's what we need to do. Do we want it to look better? Yeah, absolutely. We want to execute better. We need to run the ball better. We need to protect the quarterback better. We need to create separation at the wide receiver position better. We need to throw the ball better. We got to do all those things better. Same thing on defense. We got to tackle better. We got to fit better. We got to get better. But at the end of the day, the job is to score more points than the opponent, and we've done that the last 2 weeks.
Any other questions, guys? Thanks.
All right, thank you, guys.